Namaste, viewers. Today we have a very interesting subject for webinar, Deepawali, which is especially celebrated at Varanasi. And the most interesting thing about this webinar, that it is going to be presented by Mr. Janendra Rai, who is president of the Tourist Guide Association of Varanasi. And as well, he is a well-known personality in tourism industry. His career as a guide was started 25 years ago. And this year, 75 episode, it is going to be presented by all the guides from every corner of the country. So today, Mr. Janendra Rai is going to present Dev Diwali. His education was started in Banaras Hindu University. He is MA in Ancient History and Culture. Then also he did his Master of Art in Yoga. He is also a journalist. So like that, we have a wonderful experience with Janendra Rai to working together as a tour guide since last 25 years. And today, Dev Diwali, which is very interesting subject, it is going to be presented by Mr. Janendra Rai. Janendra Rai ji, please come forward and present this webinar.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I want to extend my sincere thanks to Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, India Tourism, and TGFI, dear President, sir, and dear Motoshi ma'am. We all RLGs are very much thankful to both of you and to these both organizations which are jointly conducting this webinar, 75 destinations with tour guides. And by doing so, you really have won our hearts. All regional level guides are extremely happy and they are warmly welcoming this step, the joint effort being made by both sides, from both sides of you. It's really a matter of a great proud and privilege for us RLGs to speak on different topics given by you. We have been doing guiding a lot, and during the period of COVID-19, totally jobless, no source of income, that was one thing, but no practicing, that was another problem. And meantime, such a wonderful effort initiated by you. And today, one by one, many RLGs are getting this opportunity to speak, to refresh their knowledge, and to share their knowledge through these webinars, and to get ready to welcome once again the inbound tourism, which is going to start soon. As very rightly, our President sir has said that Dev Diwali is one of my most favorite topics, and a festival which is celebrated in Varanasi. In fact, this is the biggest festival, I would say, celebrated by the people of Varanasi. But at the same time, I would like to bring this to your knowledge that this is not only Dev Diwali. Actually, the main festival, the day when Dev Diwali is celebrated, it is Kartik Purnima, the final day of the holiest of holy month of Hindus, Kartik, and the last day of this holy month which is Kartik Purnima, and also known as Dev Diwali, Tripuri Purnima. And on this occasion, there are number of festivals observed all over the country. And it is not only Hinduism. There are many other religions. In fact, all the religions born on this soil, born in India, they all have something special today on this day. So we are going to focus on Dev Diwali, and this story. Before I start and I relate with so many mythological stories. Very first thing I want to make clear that Dev Diwali and Deepavali, which we have celebrated recently, they are not the same. They have a lot of differences. Apart from the light, which is uh, the only similar point between Diwali and Dev Diwali, but the rest of everything are totally different in between Diwali and Dev Diwali. For an example, Deepavali this year was celebrated on 4th of November, but Dev Diwali we are going to celebrate on 19th of November. So when the Diwali is celebrated, 15 days later, Dev Diwali is celebrated. The other points of differences are Deepavali is celebrated in the commemoration of Lord Rama's return back to Ayodhya after his over his victory on Ravana and his all demons. But Dev Diwali is celebrated in the commemoration of Lord Shiva's victory over Tripurasur demons. So when he returned back and the Deepawali was celebrated. Another point of difference is Deepawali is actually celebrated by the people, the devotees of gods, but Dev Deepawali is celebrated by directly by the gods. So this becomes the Diwali of gods being celebrated to honor Lord Shiva. I would start with one mythological story of Tripurasur demons. Uh, just to refresh your knowledge about the story of Tarkasur, and then I connect it to the story of Tripurasur demons. So as we all know that Tarkasur was the demon. I don't go in much detail of that, but just few important points I want to bring into your notice that Tarkasur was that guy who has worshipped Lord Shiva and has got a special boon from him to not be killed by uh, to not be killed by Shiva. And he put a condition while having this boon from him that only the son of Shiva will be able to kill. So as a clever trick, he knew that Lord Shiva is an ascetic person, not married, and there is no way he will have child. So later on, when he started tormenting all the gods, all the people, then this plan was plotted to get Lord Shiva married, to have a baby, a child, and then finally to get Tarkasur killed. So finally, they all the gods they managed to kill to get Tarkasur killed by Kartikeya, the son of Shiva. And later on, three sons of Tarkasur, who are known as Tripurasurs also. And by name, they are Tarkaksh, Vidunmali, and Kamalaksh. So they now decided to take revenge from the gods as their father, Tarkasur, had been killed by uh, by the gods. In fact, Kartikeya was in front, but behind him there were all the gods who had planned this assassination of Tarkasur. So now a story starts with, again, like Tarkasur has got a special boon. How he has got? So as usual, they all go, they select their one god who is the most favorite god, and then they start doing penance, severe austerities. The same thing has started. All these three brothers, these tribe brothers, Tripurasurs, they also started doing penance. But instead of Shiva, they went to Brahma and severe austerities, like sitting in meditation for 1,000 years. Then standing on one leg, another 1,000 years. Again, sitting in meditation in the air for another 1,000 years. This is how the stories go. And finally, Lord Brahma appeared in front of them and asked them for their wishes. And their wish was, like any demons want, uh, that they wanted uh, him to grant a special boon to not be killed by anyone. So they wanted immortality, a status of immortality. Now Lord Brahma said, no, I can't grant you this. You ask something other than this. Now, in a clever way, they now ask him to make, to construct uh, three invincible forts for three brothers, full of all kind of prosperity, all kind of wealth, pleasure, and happiness, and uh, in built in such a especially protected manner that nobody could break it. And this is how Brahma granted this boon and appointed another demon. Actually, he was also a demon called Maya, who built three fortified castles for them, which are called Tripuris. One was built up made of gold for the elder brother. The second was built from silver for the younger brother, and the third one of iron for the youngest one. So these three were built, the gold one in the sky, the silver one on the earth, and the third one, the iron one, was built in the netherworld, Patal. And now they started enjoying their life there. But soon, now here stories take a turn into two parts. One says that the gods like Indra and many other friends of Indra, they got jealous with their prosperity, their happiness. They started finding out a way to get them killed again, to destroy all the glory and all the luxury they were enjoying. But the other story says that these three demons, after having so much power, after being in such a very well protected state, they started tormenting now again like their fathers, all the gods, the people. So a delegation of gods went to Brahma telling this problem and asking him to kill them. He denied. He said, please go and ask to Lord Vishnu. Now they goes to Lord Vishnu. He also says, I can't do this, and you should go to Lord Shiva. And finally, they arrive to uh, Mount Kailash, to Lord Shiva, and ask him to please save us. These guys, day by day, are doing a lot of terrific, horrifying things for us, and it's enough. Lord Shiva told them that I so far don't find them doing anything sinful, so I also can't do this. Finally, the story is that then somehow they managed to plot something to get them indulged in sinful acts. And finally, Lord Shiva, again they went to Lord Shiva just to prove that no, see how terrible things they are doing, and now it's time to please kill them and let the whole world, let all these Deolok save from them. Now, Lord Shiva said, okay. But the problem was that he himself was alone was not able to kill them because when the three forts, the invincible forts had been built for them by Brahmaji, there was one condition that these three forts were in, as I mentioned before, that they were positioning in three different worlds, and Shiva was able to kill them only when they all were in one line. This was also actually part of the boon that nobody would break them until they are aligned together. So Lord Brahma, while granting them this boon, had put one small condition that these three invincible forts will be aligned once in 1,000 years. So they all started waiting for this moment. All the gods, they uh, share their half of the power to Lord Shiva. Next slide I would like to show you, which explains you more better. So if you can see, these are two slides clubbed together. One is a wooden panel explaining how Lord Shiva has manifolded and the other gods around him, and he is just throwing the arrow towards those trio demon brothers Tarkasur. In the next one, it's a portrait of the same story. And here you can see Shiva is just trying to throw the arrow, but who is the arrow? Lord Vishnu here has become the arrow. Vasuki, the Nagas, they have become his bow, and the rest of the gods all are behind him or around him, just putting their power into him. The sun god and the moon god, they had become two wheels of his chariot, and this is how finally these tribe brothers one day they were aligned together, and then that arrow was thrown. Finally, they were finished, and since then, Lord Shiva, Mahadev, he has so many names, but since that particular day, after killing those Tripurasurs, he became Tripurari. He became, and so he was known as Tripurantak. So after this happening, all the gods they decided to honor Lord Shiva, and they all came to Varanasi. And so I will come to that point how Dev Diwali is celebrated, how it is observed in a wonderful, fantastic way in Varanasi. But before that, I have uh, some uh, points to tell you how this day, Kartik Purnima, which is also because of the story, this mythological story I shared with you, is also known as Tripurari Purnima, uh, is so much important to mark so many other things in Hinduism. Like this is today is the day when uh, the first incarnation of Lord Vishnu took place today, which is known as Matsya Avatar, the fish incarnation. This is the day today when Lord Kartikeya, the son of Shiva and the Lord of War, also took his birth. So today is, I mean, the day when the Deepavali is celebrated is the birthday of Kartikeya. Today, how interesting is the day of the birthday of Brinda, the goddess Brinda, which is personification of goddess Tulsi, the basil plant. So one picture, half of the slide is representing goddess Brinda, but in the other half, you can see a lady on the occasion of Deepavali, a lady who is a great devotee of goddess Brinda and is putting some earthen lamps as an offering to in front of Tulsi, the basil plants. Today, so many ladies they go to worship. Apart from worshiping Lord Shiva, they go to worship the people tree and the Tulsi tree, putting candles. lights. Okay, so this was in Hinduism. I was telling you about how so many things happen. But apart from Hinduism, this day is equally important for other religious, beliefs and faith. People from like Jainism. Today is the day when, uh, when in Jain religion, people go to actually after 4 months of halt, their Varsa was the rain retreat. Today is the day when they start, or I would say they resume their pilgrimage journey to Palitana, which is in somewhere in Gujarat, and the mountain which is called Giriraj, where all these Jain people they start their traveling by walk, and uh, and the reason behind that is it is believed that this this mountain is a very holy place for them, and those who go there they get rid of all their sins. But one thing here is very important to share with you. It's very interesting that this Chaturmas is not only in Jainism. It's actually a very common phenomena in Buddhism, in Hinduism also. Like in Hinduism, you must have heard about Dev Shayani and Dev Uthni. This is a story when Lord Vishnu, in the month of Asar, which is usually the month of July, the Ekadasi of Asar, 11th day of the bright fortnight of Asar month, he goes to sleep and he takes like a rest for 4 months. And the Ekadashi of Kartik month, which is just 3 days before Dev Diwali, he comes back from his rest. So when he goes to sleep for 4 months, all the ghats they also go, and all the sannyasis, especially those followers of Lord Vishnu, they also take rest. In Buddhism, we have we have find the stories of Buddha how every year Buddha used to take rest, or actually he used to take like a halt for 4 months of rainy season. So all the stories we know how he has spent so many rainy season in Sravasti, some rainy season in Sarnath near Varanasi. So likewise, all Indian religions have this phenomena of taking a halt and going to a rain retreat uh, for 4 months. And the logical meaning behind it, what I find and what the research I have done is this is the time when the monsoon arrives in India and the heavy shower of monsoon begins. And life is very much disturbed uh, before the monsoon because of a very hot summer. All the insects, all the living things, they are hidden somewhere. They are hidden underneath. But as soon as the monsoon starts, many insects even they come out. So it is equally, danger for everybody if you keep moving outside. For Jainism and Buddhism, where violence is totally not allowed, so if you do movements, it's not only risky for you that there might be some poisonous, animals, snakes, etc. They may bite you. In fact, sometimes unknowingly we can kill them. So this is a story of 4 months of taking retreat, and then today Jain people they start going to the Satrunjay hills of Giriraj mountain in Palitana. Now, Buddhism. So, Buddhism has nothing to do a lot with Dev Diwali, but of course, one of the four major sites of Buddhism, which is Sarnath, located near Varanasi, where Buddha preached his first sermon, and Buddhism went to all over the world. And there is a big celebration. What is that? On this day, people celebrate the foundation day of the main temple, which is known as Mulagandha Kuti Vihara in Sarnath, built by a very renowned monk from Sri Lanka, Annagarika Dhampal, who had, during British time, had come to India as a Buddhist to visit all those Buddhist sites, and he had found many of them in not a good condition. So he requested then the British Indian government and the British archaeologists to do something for their restoration. Archaeological expeditions, of course, started, but at the same time, he founded a society of Buddhist people, Sri Lankan people in India, and this is called Mahabodhi Society of India. And on the day of Dev Diwali, the main temple uh, was established in Sarnath, which was built as a replica of the ancient temple, which does not exist anymore. So on this day, the whole temple you can see in the slide is so nicely decorated, and inside the temple they have a small part of relic, like a particle of relics of Buddha, which they had got from some archaeological diggings from some British archaeologists. So this is the day when that relic is put on display for the public. Otherwise, rest of the year it is just kept inside the temple. So this is as far as it's associated with Varanasi, Sarnath. Dev Diwali is very important festival for them. And now coming to another important religion of our country, which is Sikhism. This is the day, Dev Diwali, I mean Kartik Purnima, when the founder of Sikh religion, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, was born. So this Kartik Purnima or Dev Diwali, all over the world, wherever the Sikh community lives, they also celebrate as a big festival. Their gurudwaras are decorated. There are bhajan, kirtan, and sangat. Langars are organized to celebrate the birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So you can understand how important this day is. And now let us come to the place where Dev Deepawali, the topic of today, is celebrated as a grand festival. As I have mentioned that after the killing of the trio demon brothers Tripurasurs, all the gods decided to land in Kashi just to celebrate the day uh, in the commemoration of victory of Shiva over those Tripurasurs. So they decided to come to which place? The place where Lord Shiva lives with his wife Parvati and son Ganesha. So before I go in much detail of how it is celebrated, what happens uh, on the occasion of Dev Diwali in Varanasi, here you can have a look of Varanasi from the riverside, all the ghats. And this is actually half of the ghats, starting from Dasasumit Ghat and towards south towards Assi Ghat. It's like going upstream. Another view of ghats. This I'm showing you so that later stage when you will see all of these ghats so nicely decorated, those who have never been in Varanasi, they will get a better idea, or those who have been in Varanasi, they will refresh their memories by seeing them. And here a small video clip, a musical collage of pictures showing you how the normal life goes on, daily life, ghats along the holy Ganga river, people coming down to take bath, coming to meditate, to recite, the common people, devotees of Shiva, monks, sadhus, all enjoying their time in this series of ghats, enjoying boat ride, doing different types of rituals. Groups from South India, from North, from different parts of India. This clip I have got from one of my RLG friends, one of the pastors who are he is a good photographer, and he had covered all these pictures. He had put together, edited. He had put this music background. This music is also from Varanasi. Varanasi is a great place for music also. There are many wonderful flute players. Well, so I hope you have enjoyed this video. Here we start the journey of Dev Diwali and the celebration of Dev Diwali in Varanasi. On this day, what happens? The very first thing is the people of Varanasi and the people from nearby towns and cities all travel to Varanasi, and starting from early morning, they they go to uh, the Sasumit Ghat, or they can go to any ghat for Kartika Snanam, and that is the first thing they do. And after that, they go to the temples of Shiva, and 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 that's all for the day. But from the evening starts the main part of the celebration. Here, before going to the other slides, here I want to tell you something very interesting. Of course, Dev Diwali is the final day of Kartik month. All the ghats are decorated very nicely. Millions of earthen lamps are lit. But here you can see two slides together. One where there are some very high-profile police officers and this beautiful lady who is the mayor of Varanasi. And in the other slides, there are many monks and sadhus. So what they are doing, they all have a bamboo-made lantern where they have put a light like a candle, a lamp, and then it is being pulled up. So what is this? This is called Akash Deep. Akash Deep is a very, very old tradition of Hinduism, and as Varanasi has remained, it has uh, stored, preserved so many traditions of Hinduism which are disappeared from the rest of the country. This is one of them. This you will probably find only in Varanasi or rarely in some religious places of India. But here on the large scale, from the first day of Kartik month, these uh, bamboo made lanterns, which are called Akasdeep, they are every evening a light, a lamp is lit and it is hung in the sky. It works as a Akasdeep, and it is in the memory and tribute to our dead ancestors, the people who have left this world before coming to Varanasi. Or, in other words, if I say the people who wanted to come to Varanasi on their pilgrimage, like every Hindu wants, but before making that possible, somehow they left this world. So now their family members, so their relatives, their children, this is their duty now to light a candle in the month of Kartik, which is the holiest of holy month. But it is believed that in the month of Kartik, all the doors, the visible doors and the invisible doors of this spiritual city are opened. And night is the ideal time, the favorable time for the spirits to travel. So every evening when it gets dark, at the time of dusk, either the family members of that particular person, the departed soul, they travel to Varanasi. Either they stay here a month long, but in many cases people just leave some money to the priest or pandas who live near the ghats, so that they can light a candle in the name of that particular person, the departed soul of some family. So this is how it happens every evening. And today is the beginning. So why there are police officers? What they are doing here? Actually, apart from this religious, this act which happens for the religious purpose, there is one example of uh, of of how it is done for the martyrs, the soldiers who have lost their life uh, fighting for our country, fighting for saving our life. So on this day, in their names also, Akashdeep is lit and hung in the sky. You will see some more slides uh, all along Ganga River, but on the major ghats like Dasasumedh, Panchganga Ghat, They are done on large scale and in a group. Wherever most of Pandits and priests live, you will see in the month of Kartik crowded, the ghat crowded by these bamboo, poles with this uh, the wooden lanterns. So daytime you have seen they all are just calm down, but as soon as it gets dark, they all are lit. And even when it gets darker, then you see such a beautiful, state. And that happens in the whole month of Kartik. On the day of Dev Diwali, they all are more nicely, they are done, and extra beauty is added when all the ghats are just illuminated of hundreds of thousands of golden lamps. Okay, so what else happens on the occasion of Dev Diwali? As many Indian people, Dev Diwali is a big event, as I have mentioned, and those Indians who know about this, they all want to travel to Kashi. And last year, you can see in one slide, all the boats are nicely decorated with flowers, with garlands, and the boatmen waiting for their customers to come and to board on them. On the other slide, you can see our Prime Minister, who promotes tourism a lot during his speeches, during his visits to many places. And last year, he had also visited Varanasi exactly on the day of Dev Diwali and without disturbing the people. So, of course, he has protocol being the Prime Minister. Next to him is the Chief Minister and waving his hand to the crowd placed there in the ghats. Now, let us talk about how Dev Deepavali, which started long, long, long ago. Mythological stories of trio demon brothers I have already shared with you, and then after the victory over the trio brothers, how all the gods, the entire Devlok landed in Kashi. The tradition started like doing every year, like we do Deepavali. Ayodhya was decorated this year, but later on during Mughal period, it started declining. The reason you know very well how many temples were destroyed. In the meantime, we find some important legends in the history of Kashi, and one of them was a very famous queen, Ahilya Bai Holkar from Maratha dynasty, who was a great devotee of Mahadev. Usually, whenever you see a portrait of her, you will find a miniature Shivalingam in her hand. So always holding the Shivalingam, and that shows how great devotee she was of Shiva. So, being a great devotee of Shiva, she spent a lot of time in Varanasi, and she gave a lot of money. She donated for the restoration of many temples which had been destroyed during Mughal period. She talked to the people, and when she came to know that here used to be one of the major ghats, Panchganga, where Dev Deepavali used to be celebrated on large scale, but during Mughal period it declined and almost it was dying. So she initiated from her own fund, and the next picture you will see a huge, it's called thousand lamp stand. In Hindi, it's called Hazara. The first slide, it has been the picture in first slide has been taken by myself and my friend Akhilesh. But the other one is borrowed from one, you know, internet based company, Alami. So this is showing how this thousand lamp stand is there when it is not lit, and it is not lit every day. But on the day of Dev Deepavali, when it is lit, and there are many miniature ones, a smaller ones also, and it looks like a huge Christmas tree with thousand lamps lit around them. Another face was there. So I was telling you how the people like Bahilya Bai Holkar had contributed a lot. Like she was the lady who had rebuilt actually built newly once the Kashi Vishwanath temple, the main temple of Varanasi, had been destroyed by Aurangzeb. And then the mosque was built there, which is still there. Right next to that, because of the high energy level of that particular area, she came again to Kashi and built another temple, which is now Kashi Vishwanath temple. So she did so many things for this city, including developing Panchganga Ghat, which used to be much more important than Dasasmit Ghat, which is now the prime location nowadays. But many people who are outside of Varanasi, they don't know this fact that Panchganga used to be the main ghat of Varanasi, and still many traditional things are stored there. And mm, and the name of Panchganga is mm, the significance of the name is that apart from Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, it is believed that those three streams again meet there. Two streams like hidden underneath, and then Ganga is there already, and Dhupa and Kirna. So these five rivers meet there, and it becomes very special place. But on the occasion of Dev Diwali, the Kartik Purnima, when you have seen so many festivals being observed, the water of Ganga becomes much more powerful from the energy point of view. So people go to take deep there. Also, see many bamboo poles, which are you have seen in the previous slides, the Akash Deep. Now, about this gentleman, this is in the known history of monks, Mr. Tailang Swami. He was a monk who lived there in the area of Panchganga, and he had witnessed many occasions of Dev Diwali. Many means the man who lived almost 300 years. The I have, in my knowledge, uh, I have never heard anybody of living more than like 150 years. So this was the monk, and I put his slide also, just in connection to Dev Diwali, that he also used to celebrate with the people the festival of Dev Diwali. Here, I wanted to put one picture, but in the last minute I could not. I don't know how it was removed from here. There is another iconic figure from Varanasi whose name is Ustad Bismillah Khan, the famous Shahnai player, a man who ran away from his hometown in the state of Bihar near Buxa. There is a big place called Dumrao, and he ran to Kasi to his maternal uncle, and from his childhood he started practicing Shahnai, sitting on the same place which is known as Panchganga Ghat. Next to it there is a Balaji temple, and in the Naubat Khana of Balaji temple. Why the reason I'm talking about him is he, a guy being from a different religion, being from the Muslim background, he loved so much this city. He became the devotee of Lord Shiva. And in the month of Kartik, when the group of ladies, the devotees, every morning they start proceeding to Ganga river, he also start to chase them, playing the flute behind them, and then finally sitting in the Navat Khana Balaji temple. And on the final day, some special, gatherings used to take place around him. On the occasion of Dev Diwali, he used to play a, a lot of, Shahnai there. And there is one interesting story very quickly I would like to share with you, that there was one American family on the occasion of Dev Diwali visiting that area, and they were very much impressed by him playing Shahnai flute. And later on, they invited him to come to America. We buy a house for you there. So he said, no, I have a huge family. He was actually just trying to softly, he was trying to say no, but instead of saying directly no, he just given some reason, no, no, I have very big family. So how can you manage to take all of them? The family was so crazy that told him, okay, how many people are there in your family? He said, I have a family of 40 people. They said, okay, we managed to take all of them. But now he, for some time, he had no word, no speech. He was speechless. But now he got another reason. Now he said, okay, you can take me to USA. You can take my family to USA. But can you take the whole Ganga River, the Balaji Ghat, and all these celebrations of Dev Diwali to there? Now that American family was speechless. They had now no more words to argue with him. So these are some stories associated with Dev Diwali. Let us start some slides with colorful lights, fireworks, diyas, all the ghats finally illuminated with, I would say, millions of earthen lamps, lights. Nowadays, people they have added now those modern, Chinese lights also, firecrackers, and so by doing this, uh, floating candles on Ganga Ji, the entire Ganga Ji, not only the ghats of both sides, even the entire bed of river, even the water of river, all is decorated with millions of candles and lamps. People, not only locals, on that occasion, many people from other parts of India, the pilgrims. See, I see a group from South India, the pilgrims, making rangolis on different ghats and then putting these earthen lamps, the oil lamps, in between them. So going through now quickly, uh, taking you to the different ghats through these slides. So what I'm saying that there is not a single ghat left from these decorations. So all 84 ghats of Varanasi are equally decorated, illuminated, but the main one, which is the Dasaswamedh Ghat, which is famous for so many things, but I mean, and the Ganga Arati, which happens every evening, but that same Arati on the occasion of Dev Diwali becomes Maha Ganga Arati, and one has to report there, one has to reach there 4 5 hours before the Arati starts. So you can imagine, so crowded, all the roads are blocked. In front of the Sasmith Ghat, you can see some, floating stages have been built up for the VVIPs like governor, chief ministers, Bollywood celebrities, and instead of 9 priests who do the Aarti every day, there are 51 priests and then 51 female uh, subordinate ladies priests also are invited. So this is another angle of showing you the same place, totally packed, Ganga Maharati taking place on the occasion of Deepavali. Some more slides from the other part of the ghats, and see the decoration and the glimpse being reflected on the water. There's another ghat called Gai Ghat. And now taking you to one more small video when totally everything is ready, all set. It's actually a video which has been made from through a drone camera. So that gives you a wonderful aerial look of all the ghats now decorated, illuminated. Please have a look. Thank you very much. And coming to almost close to the end, few more slides, which I would like to show you the how a big section of Varanasi, a big number of people are benefited of festivals like this, producing a lot of flowers like marigolds, because on the occasion of Dev Diwali, huge demand of flowers, garlands are required to decorate all those steps along with those earthen lamps and diyas, all the temples. So the flower market has economic impact of this festival like Deepavali. People selling basil plants, these blue flowers for Shiva, and all these canopies you see, the umbrellas, which are like like icons of the main ghats of Varanasi. Pandits, because people when they go to take a snanam, the bath, and then after they go to those pandits to do some rituals, and then they make some donations to them. So source of income for so many people in so many ways. The pottery makers for millions of earthen lamps, and boats being painted again right before the festival of Dev Diwali. All the boats are sold out. All the hotels are sold out. Well, there are not a lot of work for RLGs because people they go to just enjoy being there in the festivity. But there are many foreigners who also come, and of course some RLGs they have assignments, and the price 3, 4, or 5 times more than normal, and sometimes even no availability. So how Dev Deepavali becomes so much important in Varanasi? 84 ghats. The whole actually Varanasi is known as a cosmos center, and all these 84 ghats have actually a specific meaning behind this 84 number. It is believed that uh, in the human body has 7 energy centers, or also known as 7 layers of physical and subtle body. And these centers are influenced by 12 zodiac signs as planetary influence on human life. So these energies, 7 energy centers multiplied by 12 zodiac signs, that equals 84. That's number one. Number two is that we have to go through 84 lakh yonis or births before we get a human life. And it is believed that, I mean, the whole cosmic cycle, as the Indian belief, it is believed that 84 ghats of Varanasi symbolically represent this entire cosmic creation. Each of the ghat represents like 1 lakh journeys or in our life. So this is our altogether 84. Don't be confused sometimes when you go to ghats and some people tell you they are 80, they are 100, but there is actually a specific reason behind this particular 84 number. That is the most authentic number. I think if you talk to any RLG, this is the number you will be told. Well, and um, all those birth anniversaries I explained to you now, very surprisingly, I would like to share with you that Dev Diwali is my birthday also. This was Kartik Purnima when I came to this world. I was born, and my family, my friends, they started celebrating my birthday as per Hindu calendar because it was such a special day. And this year it is going to going to happen on 19th of November. I welcome you all to please come have a look of this grand celebration of the great festival. And here are my contact numbers. If you would like to come, you are most welcome to this city. A very happy Dev Diwali in advance. Thank you very much. Once again, Ministry of Tourism, TGFI, the Tourist Guide Federation of India, and Dr. Rajay Singh, the President, Motoshi ma'am, and the entire team from both sides, TGFI team and India Tourism team, the webinar team I'm talking about. And really, while doing these webinars, we have a great opportunity to learn apart from sharing. Like today, I learned some technical things And once again, I'm very, very thankful to all of you and all the audience, all those who participated in this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jatendra sir.
I did not see time. Is it 12? We have crossed 12 or?
No problem, Janendra ji.
That's fine. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jatendra sir. That was like, wow. When we completed our 100 episodes of Dekho Apna Desh webinars, we were like, what next to show or what next to start? We should have some new concept. And then we had a reason that we have Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we have to celebrate that, and we had 75 weeks. So we thought of having 75 weeks sessions with someone or with some people who are the face of India. And in that case, who could be the better one? The guides. And then we thought of having like 75 episodes with regional level guides who project our country to the entire world. So why not listening to their stories in their own words, or why not to see the country with their own eyes? And today we are and I believe that it's so meaningful. Every episode, at the end of the every episode, I feel like, wow, this is the best one. I mean, this is very perfect. But surprisingly, every Saturday it becomes so extraordinary. I mean, like today, the stories, the videos, and Ajay sir, we already had episodes on Varanasi. We have learned how Varanasi is important, like starting from Lord Buddha, then Lord Shiva, then Gandhiji, and today again this so many stories. I believe people who have seen Varanasi, they will again plan it, and those who have not been to Varanasi, they will definitely plan it. What do you say, Ajay sir?
Motosi ji, it's a wonderful, the presentation by Janendra Rai
Yes,
ji. And
yes.
Varanasi is the place where if you come once, you cannot stop yourself. You have to come. You have to continue till last breath. So it's an amazing place, but wonderfully presented by Janendra Rai. Thanks.
I mean,
And
so
it was,
beautiful.
the vision of our ADG ma'am, Rupinder Barar madam,
Yes,
that we should
all
start
credit
the
goes to her.
75
Yeah.
webinar with regional level guide.
Mhm.
And do you know that it was amazing presentation by Janendra Rai, which is, the making true that the guides, they are the best
Face
presenter.
of India.
So the
They are the face of
through
India.
the eyes of guide, if you see the places, then you enjoy, then you feel the essence of the places. So thanks, Janendra Raji. It was a wonderful presentation. Thanks all the viewers to stay till
Hmm.
the last minute, and we will again come with the another interesting episode on next Saturday, the same
Yes.
time, 11 a.m.
It's
Don't
it's
miss
like,
it.
sir, we have just started the journey. We are on the sixth episode today. We have completed sixth episode today, so we have 69 more to come. So stay tuned with us. And the last but not the least, please put your mask when you step out of your house, and please maintain the social distancing, which is very important. Yes, sir. And Ajay sir, you want to add something else?
Thanks, Janendra Raji.
One line I
Thanks.
have to add on, and with your kind permission, that
Yes.
Mutusi ma'am and Dr. Ajay, you both have, I am telling you not just as a guide or RLG, but I'm telling you as a representative, as like the head of my unit in Varanasi, that you both, by doing this 75 series of webinars all over India, not only in Varanasi, because I am always in touch with other presidents of other, places. And you both have really won the hearts of RLGs by doing so. Because telling you very frankly, in the beginning, there was no episode or nothing for RLGs to do in this, in the first round of the webinar series. And then when perhaps you people in the ministry realize that, oh my God, we are finding and borrowing the speakers from outside, and we have like a treasure of
We have
all the
treasure
speakers.
bank, and we are
Treasure
getting
bank. So,
actually, sir, this thanks, this everything goes to our ADG ma'am, Rupinder Barar ma'am, because this was her baby thought. So your thanks goes to her. I think
no,
she when
definitely.
she
I mean, you are representing. So, of course, the thanks
okay,
go to the entire ministry and Rupinder Brar ma'am. Of course, hats off to her for standing firmly behind all these things going on. But you are the faces now. I mean, in front of all the RLGs. There are two faces we always see, and this is very open-heartedly. I want to share with you that Mutoshi ma'am, because earlier even I did not know your name, and of course, Dr. Ajay Singh, day and night making his efforts to bring all the RLGs closer to the Ministry of Tourism. Now they are very happy. They all are they're feeling so proud of being RLGs and being associated with you. So, namaskar.
Thanks, Janandarji. Thanks a lot. Thanks, viewer. We will meet again next Saturday by 11 a.m. Thanks.
No, but I would ask you to invite Mutoshi ma'am on 19th of November in Varanasi to celebrate jointly this Dev Diwali. Not only the webinar and all these commentaries.
No, I want to invite the whole ministry.
Please.
and Jayendra sir, in advance, happy birthday.